Hi, and welcome to RedTrack stream number. We have stream today number 16. Happy to see everybody here. Today in our stream we'll have a slight change in the topic of the stream because we'll not talk about Google, we'll not talk about Facebook, we'll not talk about all those changes with Facebook Conversion API. We will talk about conversion attribution, different attribution models, and how ad trackers can help marketers take control of the attribution modeling and reporting without any rocket science and without investing into kind of specialized, heavy, complicated tools. So the topic today is how to analyze your final attribution, and we'll talk about the basics of the setup. Because when it comes to a specific case, each of you may have different model, different requirements. We will cover just the basic. And as a side step, I promise that next stream we'll have a lot of updates and new findings about Facebook Conversion API, and we'll talk about it again with new content, with new findings that we have after the months of doing it live. But for today, let me screen share. I'll stop, it's not screen sharing, vice versa. So let me screen share. And today we're talking about attribution basics and why we, for those of you who will be watching us in recording, not live, we are RedTrack, ad tracking and conversion attribution solution. So it's naturally we talk about attribution. So before we move further, a question as usual. So, can you hear me loud and clear? Is the picture good? Is the sound okay? Please type me in comments, click like if you like the content, write suggestions, write your questions. We will cover them when we finish the content part of the stream. And usually we will try to make it in about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll go to Q&A session. So, thank you. At least YouTube stream is good. I hope all other channels are good. We now have even followers on Twitch. That is very surprising. We never expected this. Thank you whoever follows us on Twitch. That's probably not a business platform. So let's start. Attribution. Why do we need attribution at all? Because typically you have your analytics tool and you have your conversion event, and you want to define what sequence of actions lead to conversion events. Because in the end, if you can find that sequence of events, you can scale up your conversions, you can invest your resources into the correct channels, and you can get better return on your spend, you can get better results. And for many marketers, for many years, all attribution is about intuition and fighting the black box. Because you run multiple campaigns, you have your analytics tool, you know that your traffic seemingly comes from this channel, but if you cut spend in the other channels, which is natural, they don't bring you conversions, everything goes down, you have a decrease. So instead of having precise understanding what's going on, you operate within this black box with multiple channels, and you know that you spend more money in Google search, you get better results. Facebook remarketing gives you zero conversion, you cut the budgets, your overall number of conversion goes down. And please tell me who have ever witnessed this black box in their practice. Very excited to hear comments, because for me, being digital marketer, this was probably the, not the challenge, it was natural way to operate for many years. We knew that we just need to make changes, observe results, and think, okay, this change was good, so let's make more stuff like this. But it was not proven by, let's say, analytics. It was just empirical findings based on campaign performance. And while you type in if you had such a case, we will see what actually happens in real life. In real life, and well, this is a very simple demonstration of the customer journey across your different digital channels. Somebody finds you through Google search, goes to the website, does something, leaves, then sees your Facebook remarketing, remembers about the website, clicks, checks, yeah, it's still something you want, goes somewhere, I don't know, to Capterra, to G2, to Trustpilot, checks reviews, searches for your company, and then finally, after all this research, the person knows direct URL, he made a decision, he comes in, boom, the conversion. And there may be multiple paths, and the more channels you have, the more longer is the decision process of your potential customer, the more important attribution modeling is. So it's maybe less important for, the product with a short decision cycle, like same day, next day, but maybe very important for the online services or businesses with a longer decision sales cycle. If it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, more weeks, it's getting very important to find out the exact sequence of touch points that lead to better results. And the problem is that most of the tools have two limitations. They give you just one attribution approach, and usually that's last click or last paid click. So you know only this part. You can only guess what led to the other part. Of course, then you can go to conversion path reports and you start to see all the different paths the user made, but you cannot clearly deduct the value of the particular channel towards your goal. And so that's the whole point of attribution. Let's get back to this. Define the path across all the touch points that lead to conversion. And I will add that's basically define not only all the touch points, but key combination of the touch points, or most important channels across those touch points that will lead to the conversion. So typically we have, and I know it's probably in the right linguistical order, but in the wrong logical order, typically all tools have last click attribution because it's easy to do. You just have those data, you receive the conversion, you receive the click, okay, this is the end result. And you know what? Last click attribution is great for affiliate marketers. They are paid for the clicks they deliver. They don't, guys, actually don't care all the other ways your leads found the way to the website. You care that yours click was the one that resulted in the conversion, because then you will be paid. And that's why typically in all trackers, last click attribution is default mode. However, when you do run your own product, your own business, your own web store, online service, you actually want to know how people discover your business in the first place. And that's why first click attribution becomes important, because you want to know the conversions, what was the first click, how somebody discovered your business in the very first place, because then you know all the other tools is like you have remarketing campaigns, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, review site, something else. But unless somebody will find you first, they will never get into your funnels. So first click attribution is getting very important. But then we all know that, like in this picture, it's not only the first click or last click. There are multiple clicks, and we just made 4 to make this model simple. In reality, it can be anywhere between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11. It's many clicks. And you want to know which of the channels contribute to discovery, which of the channels contribute to conversions. And in the end, if you do either first click or last click, you start to miss the point, because you lose all the other valuable data. And that's why there is a third way. It's cross-campaign multi-touch attribution. What it means that there is a single report that shows all your channels, your channels across all the touch points in a single dashboard and allows you to change those models on the fly. Now it's very important because you don't know what really works for you, want to play around, and the big limitations of many tools is that you first set the boundaries, then they collect the data, and then you see the results. And if you want to change anything, you start from scratch. You remove all data, you create new boundaries, you collect the data, you see the results, and finding the right model or the right insights may take a lot of time until you nail that specific setup. So when you can change the attribution model real time, it has a lot of value. Now, next and one important part is conversions by click time. Most of the tools would report your conversions by the time the conversion happened. You can run campaigns in October, especially we're talking about a B2B, but the sales came today. Or we talk about games with long activation cycle. You got your player in January, but he made his first deposit, he purchased his first something within your game in February. So you don't actually care, well, you care about the conversions happening in February, but you want to see which actions, which campaigns in January resulted in this. Because since January, you probably made 2, 3, 5, 6, I don't know how many changes. And if something starts to work, you want to see the cause of these results that happened in the past. So you need to be able to show conversions by the time of the clicks that result in those conversions. And again, whether first click attribution or last click attribution, depends what's important for you. And if we talk about business models with multiple payments, this would be SaaS business, anything that has repeated or recurrent payments, you also want to measure the lifetime value of the channel. That means that you want to also measure the impact on this lifetime value between different changes across campaigns you make in those channels. So that's why you want to report conversions by click time. And then, of course, you have conversion paths, something we have on the screen, and customer journey when you have not only clicks, but also all the pages. And when it comes to attribution, there are 4 key concepts that you will run into often. First, conversion. That's the event you're basically trying to find clicks. And again, we start to get slightly, well, we hope it's very simple, but if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. So, conversions is clear. Last click, it's basically last click that happened and was recorded before the conversion. We believe that after this click is what caused this conversion to happen. But we also know that sometime in the past there were other clicks for the same person, or at least from the same device, that led to your website. And how you define what click was the first? This is all goes down to attribution window. And now enter the same Facebook. Facebook says, okay guys, girls, we have 7 days attribution window. So it means if there was more than 7 days between click and conversion, they don't care. And again, if all your conversions happen within those 7 days, you probably don't care too. But if your decision cycle is 1 month, 6 weeks, 3 months, you start to care about the length of attribution window, and you want to see all the clicks way down in the past based on your business that led to your website discovery and ended in the conversion purchase. And you can basically define it empirically. Just increase attribution window until you reach the reliable results that you like. Most systems, again, do not allow you to do this because you set the boundaries first, and this is one of the key boundaries. And then collect the results, and then see the results. Now, when you know your attribution window, that's basically how far in the past from the conversion. For example, it happened today, and today is March 18. Our attribution window is 2 months. So basically looking at, it's not January 18 because February had less days. So it will be January, I don't know, 16, 2 days less in February. So 2 months down the road. This will be your attribution window. And the first click that happened after January 14 for conversions in questions that happened today would be the first click. All the other clicks that happened between the first one and the last one would be assisted clicks. And why that is important distinctions? Because when we'll start showing diagrams of all the attribution models, you'll quickly see the pattern and you'll see how to set up those models yourself. So these are the key terms for attribution that we'll use when we'll talk about models. Attribution window, first click, last click, assisted clicks. Now, there is conversion path analysis and there's attribution modeling. We found that when people talk about attribution, they actually want to see conversion path analysis. So these things complement each other, but they are different. How are they different? This is your conversion path. Google search, Facebook remarketing, website review, direct entry. Of course, you can make it more complex by adding different pages on the website during the sessions or key pages on the website during the session, but still that's your conversion path. And when you open conversion path, you then find the most typical conversion paths. The problem with such reports is that you can have top 10 paths that probably would cover only, 10% of your traffic, because if you run multiple channels, your conversion paths, especially at longer attribution window, may be so varied that it's not enough lines on the screen to analyze the data, and means that you will lose valuable insights. So that's why for something a little bit more complex, people stick to attribution models. Cross-campaign, multi-touch attribution. And you can see with this will be your first click, your assisted clicks, your last click. And these diagrams can clearly hint you how you build your models. Basically, among all your clicks, you give 0 or very low weight to all the clicks, but you say, okay, this last click is very important. And it helps to find all the channels that contribute to the last click. I will say, okay, you know what, I don't care about everything else. This first click is very important. Okay, good, first click is very important. Or say, okay, you know what, all clicks are equally important, because if I lose just one touch point, I will not make conversions. And compare these charts with this chart. First clicks, assisted clicks, last click. So just define which type of clicks is most important for your attribution model. And this will define the model you're working with. So last click, first click, linear, whatever you call it, position-based, U-shaped, time decay. So first click is most important, assisted clicks are less important, last click even less important. Of course, there is data-driven, but data-driven is that you employ some machine learning that will build this model based on large data sets on the fly for you. Don't control it. It's machine analyzes all the different paths. Okay, you know what? We think that these touch points are most important for your conversions. And how you do it in real life? Very, very simple. I will right now show you all those models. Well, not all those models, probably first 4. They will be most easy to see on the screen, on the fly. And this is the power of the tools that don't sample data, don't aggregate data, they just have everything up and running. Before I proceed to this explanation of those models with real numbers, I will check the questions and answers. Let me just get it bigger. Okay. Hey, thank you everybody for greetings. So we have a question. That's a great question. For example, with Google Analytics, you do the last paid click. Always. At least they say they do last paid click. They don't count organic traffic. With, for example, RedTrack, you can remove direct widgets from the funnel. But in the end, if you work with other people who send you paid traffic, yes, of course, you can do last paid click. That's the whole purpose of the tracking tool. You define what you want to track. Now, the best part about it that you can do last paid click for conversion attribution, but you can also build the model across all the touch points besides the conversion attribution to see first clicks, assisted clicks, last paid clicks. And okay, no other questions. So let me switch the screens here and show you how it works. So here is the screen. I hope it's online. I don't see it yet online. So let me figure out why it's not showing. Okay, here we go. And let me even remove myself from the screen. Sorry, audio was not working. Can you please somebody tell me in comments where the camera dropped off? Because somehow the camera dropped off while I was showing the data. From the very beginning, I guess. So, sorry for that. We're using new streaming software. I'm learning how it works. I cannot remove myself completely from the screen. So let me recap. What I was trying to show is that this is RedTrack data, all the conversions for the last 7 days with click attribution window of 28 days, meaning the time between now and the first click would be 35 days, 28 plus 7. And just changing, looking at the screen, you can see that, for example, Google Display Search gave us 18 clicks, if there will be last click conversions, 18 last click conversions, but 41 first click conversions. That's tremendous difference, 2 times. And if we'll be using Google Analytics, we'll see this data, probably. But if we look at the first clicks, we have this data, which may significantly impact the decision of the marketer towards their investment in the channel. So, now how we do models. Right now on the screen we see equal weight for the first click, for the last click, and for the assisted click. And weight is not percentage, it's just the random number, the value of the click you decide. And you can see based on the weights and number of conversions coming from all those clicks, you see contribution towards the result. So let's do last click attribution model. So give weight to last click and remove weights from first and assisted clicks. Suddenly, organic is more important. Now, if we change it to the first click, organic is losing almost 2 times of its contribution, and all the other channels raising up because they contribute way more to the discovery of your business compared to the conversion. Or if you do this U-shape attribution model with 0 weight towards assisted clicks and equal weight towards last click and first click. Organics has bigger contribution, but not as big as in the clean last click model. And again, this is a very simplified view, probably just a couple of campaigns, several channels. It gets much more interesting for the longer attribution windows, for the more complex channel mix, because then you can find a very surprising results and you can actually start to unwrap that black box we showed on the very first screen. So it works, and the best part, like I mentioned, you don't have to wait those 35 days to recalibrate the model to see the new data. It's right here, it's real time, and this is just a demonstration for you how all those attribution modeling works. Thank you much for your attention. Sorry for that bummer with me going off screen, not only with video but with sound. That was not planned. And now let's proceed to the questions. Okay. This one. Okay, you decide. The best part then, when you send tracking, you decide you do first click or you do last click, and what will be the attribution window for conversion. 7 days, 60 days, I don't know how many other days, but it really matters for the first click, because for the last click it will be always the last click. And conversion tracking is different from attribution modeling, because in conversion tracking we take just one conversion and assign it in your reports, whether to the first click or to the last click, and then we show all those campaign performance results. And this is very sort of biased to you because you set that approach. And when you do like your own business, you might want to go first click. When you work with affiliates or your affiliate, you want to set last click. But on top of that, you can see cross-campaign, multi-touch attribution. That is actually a standalone report and shows you your conversions across all the touch points in one place. So it's not like contradiction. Those two types of reports, they complement each other. Okay. Next question. That's a great question. You cannot do this. Something we show to you is the result of, I'll be honest, we spent probably 8 months of the background work to allow you to do this multi-touch attribution real time and fast. Now, next step in our path in expanding what we do as attribution would be creating conversion paths. They're still important. You still want to see the most top conversion paths visually. It's very interesting. And then we'll start to show a specific customer journey. So yes, like you mentioned, you'll be able to click a specific conversion and see all the touch points across a given attribution window for that particular conversion. So it's like 3 big and complex updates from now. I don't expect you'll see this next month or 2, but this is the goal we are working towards, because in the end, that expanded journey of the conversion will be individual lifetime journey of somebody who converted on your website. Thank you. We know that it might be good. It's a complex product. We are working in iterations, because if we'll just keep everything under the hood without showing anything, we'll never have this stream. We'll never be able to show this data to this side of me, for you to probably to my left, that you see on the screen. So like I said, next step would be conversion paths, and then you'll see a specific customer journey. And the best part is that it will all be real time without any sampling, aggregation, and like we like to say, we'll be using first party data only. So no cross-site tracking, no digital fingerprints, no third-party cookies. So when Google will shut down all third-party cookies, when Facebook will delete their attribution within 7 days, you will still have all the data in RedTrack, and I honestly hope that multiple other tools will pick up and will be able to provide similar reports, because this is what marketers need to make their daily decision-making process, to make their insight discovery easier. Okay. I'm led into how to work with this tool. So, and try to make the screens different. No, wrong way. This one. Okay, good. So, any other questions that we have today about the attribution? I will be happy to answer them right now. Okay. I hope that I have not messed something with this stream second time today, because I no longer see any questions. I'll try to... I don't know why I don't see any other questions in chat. Something disappeared for me. Let me try to refresh it. Chat. I don't know. Okay. So I hope you found this particular stream useful. Next time we'll talk about Facebook again. We'll have 4 weeks of practical results working with Facebook Conversion API, and I'm happy to tell you that we have new insights, we have new surprises, and we'll have new updates to the attribution of conversions to Facebook. We have Facebook Conversion API to share. So I was very happy to see everybody here. Thank you for your time with attribution stream today. We'll talk more about attribution when we have more to show. And that's it for today. Thank you and enjoy your day.